Welcome to our show. This is book 38, right, Chris?
Yep. Book number 38, Blue Ocean Strategy. This is, I guess, technically it's a business book. I know you've read this one as well. Actually, you know what? True. You've read this one. You give the description.
Okay. Blue Ocean Strategies. It's a book from Harvard. It's by a professor and his student, Kim and Renée Mauborgne. The essence of Blue Ocean Strategy is they refer to Blue Ocean and Red Sea. Red Sea is when everybody is in that kind of like crowded in. Yes, flooded. It's all the sharks and everybody is competing against each other. And so Blue Ocean Strategy is essentially saying you need to look for some different water when not a lot of competition has entered. And that's going to give you a advantage in terms of, building a business or doing things that people haven't done before.
Exactly. It's unlocking new value that didn't exist before. You're blazing a new trail, basically. So my reflection title for this one is do the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. I'm in the camp at this point in time in my life, and I know that you are too, where if everybody's doing the same thing, run as far and as fast as you can in the complete opposite direction if you want to accomplish anything of value in this world, only because we're such herd mentality kind of beings, right? Humans mirror each other. We love to get along. We love to help each other. And we'll talk about that in future books, down the road that we've learned together. But it's ingrained in us is to look for order, consistency, and to be a contributing member of a community and mirror each other through that stuff. So we think there are safe paths in this world. Like we like security. We have loss aversion. We don't like any of those things, right? Like that's just human nature. I think all of us could probably, if we look deep within ourselves, would say, yeah, that's probably true. I want to go to college because I want to get a good job and I want to move up the corporate world so I can have security for my family. And at the end of the day, this is what I've learned in the past couple of years is that can be taken from you in a heartbeat. I had to learn that lesson the absolute worst way possible of losing my daughter. This world's unpredictable. This world's random. This world is the operating system of the universe is not the operating system of human beings. We have this innate desire to want to do consistent, a blueprint, a path, organization. And that's just ingrained in us. Knowing that if you want to ever bring something unique into this world and unlock new value for other people, you do the exact opposite of what everybody else is doing. And that's kind of what this reflection is all about. This is what Blue Ocean Strategy, in my view, kind of made me think about is like, if everybody wants to work at a tech company, go work at a nonprofit. If everybody wants to make money, figure out a way to make not money and still survive and thrive. If everybody wants to do a podcast, do a video, whatever the trends are, what everybody thinks that they can follow to go do this consistent repeated path, don't do that. I find personal value myself in trying to live my own unique values and not try to follow the herd. I know there's value in the herd. I don't want to pretend like there's no value there, but I think it takes some brave souls every once in a while to break away from that and to help build the value for everyone all together. And that's, you never know where it'll lead you. Maybe someday we'll change the world. Maybe clubbing will be the new model that everybody will want to be someday, long in the future, where you start a company and you don't even have a job and you don't have anything to do. And it's just the Montessori workplace. And we're all going, well, that didn't make any sense in the beginning, but everybody was like, you got to go get a job. You got to go to college. And we're just saying, no, like, we're not going to do that. Like, we're going to go let people, produce meaningful work and build meaningful relationships in an ecosystem where we support that. And then let's see what they produce out of that versus us telling them what they need to produce in an ecosystem that we give them. So anyway, that's my high level reflection for this one. And the question would be, what would the exact opposite of your life look like today? I'd love to get your thoughts.
Let me start off with a question though. What would be your non-business benefit in following a Blue Ocean strategy?
What would be in terms of clubbing and what we're trying to do?
Yeah, so it could be company, it could be personal.
Yeah. Well, so I think that the fundamentals of why we even have money and why we exchange things and the value, it's about exchanging value, right? Money was an easy way for us to all have a standard value system that we could all agree that this has value. At the end of the day, like that could be anything really. We've just all accepted it to be a certain thing in a certain way. And then we've built structures and organizations around making money. And that's why we go do what we do. And I know this is what you and I have been deconstructing a lot of things and breaking it down to the fundamentals for a while now of how we want to build it back up and to take it from there and then to build it back up. We're talking about doing an actual value exchange of your individual core values in this ecosystem and then see what produces out of that. And I'm sure there'll be tons of different value that we never even dreamed of, but we'll figure out what that standardized value is eventually and go from there.
Well, I think in today's society, there is a real value and there's a imaginary value. Imaginary value is value that you think that you're creating by doing activities. An example that I could give you would be a value in saying if I were to work for a company and the company manager tells me I have to write a report of why I declined a certain solutions and they're paying me money, salary to do that report. To me, that is imaginary value. I'm not creating anything of benefits of any value,
Yeah, I agree.
right? And I still get paid for it. And I think that value has been kind of like cloudy into the mix of all the society that we've been relying on for so long. So as company, we want to take back to its roots and say, okay, I'm doing something that somebody wants. And that's something that I do because I am either good at it or
I find value in it. Like
whatever that drives me to
Right.
produce that item that I can produce so quickly and so cheaply just because of the condition that with me being wanting to do that thing, whether that's to do taxes, for example, not a lot of people want to sit there and do taxes.
You just reminded me of that actually. Now I need to email my accountants that we're about a month away.
Right. You should thank me for that. You would I'm giving you value, and because if you forget, what will happen to it? And so I'm not getting paid for my value.
Right.
Example of how messed up I think our value system is nowadays.
Yeah.
I like to kind of modify that a little bit. I like to take the opposite away. I don't think opposite is the way because you can say, well, I can go sideways and be completely blue ocean, or I can leap forward and be completely blue ocean.
Fair enough.
See more path to choose than to do the opposite because I think it depends. So knowing of all the concepts and ideas across a lot of books that we've read together, I think, knowing that we're not foolishly falling to the trap of doing the opposite, the only option there is.
Fair enough.
Just do what everybody else is not
doing. There you go. Which means do what you want to do. Like that's what everybody else is not doing, is what you want to do. And yeah, I think you're spot on. Actually, I had this conversation with my morning Darren Daly this morning, which was he was talking about Mike Tyson, and he went to go see a Mike Tyson one-man show in Vegas with his wife. And he said, Mike how he forged his iron will, I guess, if you will. His big tip that he took away from it was whatever you're doing, you're going to hate something, but the key is to learn to love what you hate. And I literally shivered when I heard that. It made me want to vomit in my mouth. Yes,
it sounds good.
You just took it sounds good, but you just took that advice from one of the most flawed human beings that any of us have ever seen. Like that guy is a wreck. Mike Tyson is a psychopath sometimes, his life has been a roller coaster up and down. Doing that philosophy did help him to excel in the system that was created. And He did shit that he hated, but he didn't ever know who he was. And when all that came crumbling down and when he was left to just himself, he didn't know anything about himself. He spiraled out of control. He ended up in jail. He did every drug. He lost control of his body. Listening to that, relaying advice from that man to other people to say, this is how you should think about success in this world is exactly what I'm saying. Do the opposite of. I think you should say the advice should be do what you love to do and then do more of that. That's it. It's not that hard, but I think people always get so tripped up on that concept and they're like, well, not everybody loves what they do, Chris. Well, that's the problem. Is they should love what they do.
That's a problem people don't recognize as a problem because people think that, because for me, it boils down to what you said. Is in my mind, I'm saying, if you want to learn how to box, you listen to Mike Tyson. Don't listen to him on anything else. It's what credibility does he have to give you advice on anything else? He's in everything except boxing.
I agree. One could argue the same for us as well. But at the same time, I don't think that we're trying to tell people what to do. We're saying, do whatever you want to do.
Do it because you wanted to do it, not because I say.
Exactly. Right? I'm not giving you any advice on life. I'm saying, whatever you like to do, let me help you to figure out how to do that more. That's the world that we want to build. Instead of going to work at a company where you have to learn to love what you hate, and to do it even better. That's
It's,
stupid.
it's the same saying I keep saying as well, is embrace the suck.
Yeah.
That rise, grind, and repeat. And I think if somebody hears me saying that, which probably a lot of people do, which is they are doing that and they're gonna hate me because they be defensive, say, "Oh, I'm doing that." Say, well, it's up to you. If that's what you want to do,
That's what
which
is
right. Rise, grind, and repeat, or to embrace the suck, well, that's your life, not my life. I don't care. I'm just saying
Agreed.
You should care about what you do that makes you feel your life is
fulfilled, meaningful work and meaningful relationships.
I don't care.
I think we could clearly say definitively that Mike Tyson boxing was not meaningful work, and it did not result in meaningful relationships where he was fulfilled enough. Because as soon as that all crumbled, he sought everything and anything else elsewhere in order to try to find fulfillment. Like 100%.
He's still searching. That means
all I can say is I feel fulfilled doing what we're doing, and I know that you feel fulfilled doing what we're doing. So like, if we can help other people to feel fulfilled, like that's the goal, right? And that's a blue ocean. That is a world that we all live in, this red ocean of embrace the suck and fall in love with the things that you hate.
It's because the thing is that you listen to a boxer giving you advice on life. You know, it's like, if you want to take boxing lesson, listen to the guy who succeed in boxing,
right?
Not in life. Because to me, everything else he does is not successful. And so he's using his status as a boxer to say, okay, because I am successful as a boxer, I'm also should be a life coach as well, because it gives me some credibility somehow. And to me, that is the worst kind of assumption you can make.
Yeah,
right.
I agree 100%. I'm going to add one big important caveat in my mind to that. There is value in listening to Mike Tyson and lessons learned from his life. There's value in the extremes of this world. There's probably arguably the most value can be found in terms of lessons learned from the extremes in this world, and take that back and then try to live a balanced life. We saw what Mike Tyson could do when you just dedicate your life to something. He just sadly dedicated it to something he didn't like. What if you took that same thing and dedicated it to something you did like and then felt fulfilled as well?
Yeah, at least you'd be happy.
Exactly.
Regardless of where it takes you, regardless whether that you're gonna make you money or doesn't make money, it's gonna like it. Whether you like fishing and you fish, and well, you get the enjoyment out of fishing, whether you make money from the fish you caught or not, but at least you are enjoying what you're doing, and that's what we advocate.
The Tiger Woods, the Mike Tysons of the world, where you put your mind to something, what humans can do when they really dedicate their heart and soul into something, it's pretty remarkable.
It's saying that you could do it, but the question I ask that person is, should you do it?
That's up to that person if they want to, and it's
if
they love it.
Two separate questions,
right?
I'm saying, like I just told you about taxes. I mean, most people don't like to crunch number, but I've actually met a few people that actually loves to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably spin that into a fulfilling job, honestly. If you're helping people to manage their life, you're helping people to solve financial trouble, you're helping people to plan for college, probably, you're helping people to give back money to be able to pay for their kids to go on a vacation. Like, I mean, there's a lot of million ways you could probably justify a purpose around being a tax accountant, you know what I mean? If that's the way you wanted to look at it. Like, I don't think anybody enjoys, well, maybe they do. Anyway, your point's well taken. But any other final thoughts on Blue Ocean Strategy? What do you think about the book, by the way? Would you recommend this book to other people?
Yes, I think the nuggets of it is that you can't be doing what everybody else is doing to be different. The book has that particular concept and idea. You want to win by carving yourself a market, carving yourself a new environment where you're the one controlling it, and there's not a lot of people in it yet. You can't continue to compete with people that are in it. All you're doing is you can make the water bloody. That's all you're doing.
Right. I agree. The concept of the book, I love. Like, I don't know that I loved this book, to be honest with you.
It's just one idea that he's trying to.
At least the compound effect was entertaining.
It's written by a Harvard professor. So
I know.
It's the most boring book you can ever.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad that I read it.
It's good if you're in business. And then if you're not in business, just listen to the podcast. And I'm telling you, just do what everybody else is not doing, because you want room for yourself. You want room to breathe and not to be stressed out by doing what people are doing just because they are doing it.
The question we can leave everybody with is, what would the exact opposite of your life look like? Or as True would say, the side up, what would it look like if you didn't do the same thing that everybody else is doing? I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right. Next time.